Boom. All right, let the people get in here, man. Let the people get in here. Let me share this out to the people. Yo, 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 yo. Let me retweet all my tweets. Let me share all my stuff. Let's see. All right. All right, kids. You know what time it is. You know what day it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. Pay for play week 1. We're in the building. We have a lot of interesting things to talk about today. A lot of things went on, obviously yesterday because, I feel like the first couple of days of college football, I feel like they're kind of like, okay, they're teasers, you know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, uh, we want the real matchups. So we got the real matchups today. So I'll go ahead and introduce the panel today. Some very, very familiar faces in the building today. We got my boy Sam. He's taking a trip to Clemson, South Carolina. Not really, but figuratively. Sam, how you doing today, man?
Oh, it's a beautiful day here in Indy. 61 degrees outside. Took the pup on a walk this morning. Was literally said out loud, "Who needs caffeine on a day like this?" Just a perfect first Saturday of football. Already feels like mid-season already. Got that crisp in the air. It's a beautiful day. I'm excited, ready to go.
There we go. There we go. I love it, brother. Jake, you're in the building. You have New Mexico. Very daunting tax today. How you feeling, man? The mute is beating his ass. Look at the mute just beat him up. The mute is just kicking his behind. There we go. There we go.
I said, just ready to see Bryce out there. Highly anticipated offseason. Top recruit ever for us. Justice Haynes coming in from Bama. Excited to see him with Jordan Marshall in the backfield. And yeah, a bunch of new transfers at wide receiver, new offensive coordinator. There's a lot to watch tonight, but I'm looking forward to that LSU Clemson game later. That's my favorite game of the day.
I hope your struggles are a sign of Bryce today in this season.
Is there any bad blood between you two over something specific regarding Bryce Underwood? Did something happen there? I just want to know.
I don't know. They just seem to be losing number one recruits at their position a lot.
That kid was never signing. That kid was never signing. I did not get excited at all about that. That was Ja'Cory Moore 2.0 from the start.
Yeah.
Never even watched his highlights.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, buddy. And then we have our guy back from the West Side. He's live at 7 a.m. JD is in the building, brother. What's going on, man?
Good to be back. As always, it's another college football season. Back with the fellas, talking best bets, big games. It couldn't be better. Unlike Sam, however, I do need the caffeine, but caffeine and football together, very good.
I'm not on dad life yet, so it's completely justified for you all.
Yeah, we have talked about it though. Don't worry, Sam is. You know what I'm saying? He has the agenda, so we're gonna get working on that so he can see how dad life is for the rest of us three. Because we've been up for multiple hours. Even Jake, I know that we've been up for a long time, so don't worry about that. All right, man. Well, Sosa will be in the building. He'll be joining a little bit later. Please, 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 though, while you're here, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure to lock in on all the content. We're not only doing college football on the Daily Bird Network. We got a lot of MLB stuff with the Spin Doctor, one of the best baseball handicappers I've ever came across. He does strikeout props, so I just hit on 4 in a row yesterday. So definitely make sure to tap in with him. We got our NFL guys. NFL starts next Thursday. Been a real quiet week for the NFL, by the way. Anyway, but also join up for them as well. And then follow us on Twitter on X, if you're watching us on there at Pay for Play. Follow all these guys on Twitter as well. I put their handles description in tweet. Sure, you know what I'm saying, you're showing the boys love. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. The first game, we're going to start a little bit light. So, and, you know, we'll go to JD first on this one. The Alabama Crimson Tide, they're coming and going to Tallahassee, Florida to face the Florida State Seminoles, who were the laughing stock of college football last year. Let's just be real and let's be honest. I think all of us got a kick out of them going all the way to Ireland to lose to Georgia Tech. I said that at the beginning of the season last year. I was like, 14 points for DJ Ukulele. I don't know about that one. But, you know, they have sort of a revamped roster. They got Thomas Castellanos as their new quarterback. He was doing an interview with EJ Manuel, who is a 6-foot-tall quarterback. He did not even reach, like, his elbow. Like, he is short, all right? He's a little guy. But they do have Gus Malzahn, a guy who does like to run a high school offense, as I like to call it. So we'll see what they can do today in Tallahassee. But like I said, we'll start with JD. How are we feeling about this game in general? Bama's got some guys out as well, so that's going to be interesting. And we got a new quarterback there in Ty Simpson. So how are you feeling about this one?
On the Bama side, I know it's 2 touchdowns. It kind of seems like a lot when you get 2 big-name programs, but I think only one of them is really a big-time program right now. Yeah, like Florida State's going to be better, but that doesn't really mean anything when you were as historically bad as they were last year. So definitely in improvement mode. They're playing the transfer portal game. Transfer portal's it just wasn't as, you know, robust this offseason. So there's massive question marks. And then Alabama, I mean, they're in improvement mode too. Let's be honest. I see the Michigan fan over here with Jake. Like, yeah, he knows Alabama's still got something to prove. Right. If Jordan Tackle's going to make 13 forced missed tackles, then, you would think the Gus Malzahn, with his option looks, because Vandy hit him, they couldn't stop the option with Vandy if you're having trouble tackling. But I'm not getting there. I'm on Bama. I think they're going to dominate both lines of scrimmage. It is going to be wet and sloppy in this one. And if you're going to dominate the trenches and it's going to be wet and sloppy, I'm going to be on that team. I think they can win pretty much any style of game here. I mean, Bama's got the talent and they got their offensive coordinator Grubb back. So I think the offense is going to be improved. It's going to be massive seasons from Ryan Williams. And that's it. And then on the prop side, the only thing I took Roydell Williams, the running back for Florida State. I took him under 42.5 rush yards earlier in the week, and I see it's all the way down to 29.5 now. So I can't really play it there, especially if it's going to be rainy. So yeah, Bama for me.
Okay. All right. Sam, are we hate watching the Tide again? And welcome in young Sosa the Locksmith. He is here. We're in Alabama and Florida State, so we'll get to Sam and then we'll get how you're feeling about that today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's technically a hate watch, because I don't think it's going to be. I guess I don't call it a hate watch if it's not going to be a successful one. So, still got some bad blood for Florida State, and I believe in curses. I said it last week. We believe in curses here. That the fan that I know still has not eaten the Solo cup full of dog poop. So the curse from last year lives on. And we're going back to the tried and true. Bama first half -7.5. I took them full game as well. Don't really want to play it though. I just got some bullets flying everywhere. So I'm just going to give out the official Bama first half. I mean, +105, it feels like stealing money. And I think the defense is going to be fired up. Castellanos was kind of running his mouth this offseason, which you really don't want to do to a Bama defense ever. So, especially with one that's as loaded as this one. So, yeah, give me I think they come out ready to go. Kind of put them to bed early.
All right. I'm feeling that. Sosa, welcome in. As we said, we got Bama going to Tallahassee. How are you feeling about this one?
I'm thinking I think Alabama handles business, to be totally honest with you. I don't see a scenario. I just don't think Florida State's talented enough to match them in the trenches, and I think we'll get I think it'll be a relatively easy walkthrough. Only play I have in the game is over 16.5 team total for Alabama in the first half. I don't have too much to say. I think DeBoer, second year with DeBoer, kind of have to give him a little bit of grace. They performed terribly on the road last year. I think that going on the road, they're in that sort of situation where they just got to go out and handle business. I think it's a Bama smash spot, to be totally honest with you.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And we'll round out the topic with Jake. How you feeling?
Good. I think I'm excited to see Ty Simpson at QB. A little way different than Jalen Milroe back there. It's going to look a lot different for the team. More of a pocket pass. This kid's not. I mean, and like we said on the last show, he lost his job to Tyler Buckner when they were competing.
Yes.
So, I mean, maybe sitting on the bench. I wasn't high on Milroe, so it scares me that he was sitting behind him. I think you start with an easier opponent, though. They're just trying to get headed in the right direction with Florida State after last season. I think Jam Miller being out, we'll see if it affects them. I don't think it will terribly. I think they dominate the trenches, and I think they win this one by about 17 or so.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I all week have been kind of saying that, I think Alabama wins the game. I don't think that, especially with how last season ended, that horrible loss to y'all, Jake, in the bowl game, just the way that they peaked, with that win against Georgia, and then the way that they fell to earth with that game against Oklahoma last year. I really do think that they want to come out this season, make a statement. Obviously, there are some things that are still some question marks over there, more question marks than we're maybe used to, of course, in the Saban era. I do think I'm scared of the 14. I'm going to just be honest with y'all. I'm scared of the 14. So I just took the under. I got it at 50. It's now down to 48.5, so it's going in the right direction. If you can get a 50 that's not too juiced, I would take it. In this instance, I think that Bama's defense is going to show up and be real. But at the end of the day, I don't know how close Florida State could keep it. I don't think they're going to score a lot of points, but I know Gus Malzahn's got some little rinky-dink stuff for them, and maybe they can keep it close towards the end of the game. But I really don't think that this is going to be the greatest watch. This is probably the lowest game. That's why we started with it first. So anything else on this game, gentlemen? Yeah, no.
It'll be cool to see Ryan Williams if the rain doesn't ruin that, I guess.
Yeah.
Apparently it's like downpour the whole game. So
yeah. We're gonna go to speaking of downpour, another game, because we do have two Notre Dame fans in here. We're gonna skip forward to Sunday, all right, and we'll start with JD again here. Did y'all see that? They use this lovely platform, StreamYard. Jesus, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Did you see those Notre Dame fans that were calling those Miami players thugs? Did y'all see that? Is this 1985? Like, what's going on with y'all fan base, man? What's up?
Listen, man, I can't defend those guys. I'd like to say they were saying it in like a playful, funny way, because like if you look at like the like their names on the on like the actual thing, it was like one guy actually had Catholics versus convicts, which is like something that has been around since the 80s or early 90s. So yeah, I think people are making it a bigger deal than it is. It's just, the world we live in now, everybody wants to be offended. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it was playful. You know what I mean? I don't think they were, and the dude was smiling the whole time he said it, so I don't know if he totally meant it, but don't let Carson Beck come in there and beat them boys. That's all.
If Indiana was saying it, Indiana fans were saying it, would you be saying
that? That's pleading the fifth. That's what we call that in court. All right, JD, how you feeling about this game today? Obviously, or tomorrow, should I say. It's going to be a torrential downpour. Y'all are obviously a team that loves to run the ball. Y'all have one of the best, if not the best, running back in college football this year. So how's your outlook on this one?
I mean, there's definitely uncertainty with Carr coming in and the camp reports not being tremendous about him. So there's going to be a little uncertainty. But overall, I think it'll be a tight game. I mean, I'd be surprised if this is not a close game. Let me just say that. I'd be very surprised. I mean, Miami's supposed to be pretty dang good in the trenches in their offensive line. I think that gives you some stability, even if their passing attack's not clicking or it is raining. I mean, both teams have a deep stable of backs and really good offensive lines. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a slugfest. I know the total was going down. I think that was the right move. So I'll just say I agree with that at the current number. You know, not a ton of juice on the bone, but yeah, I mean, I still think Notre Dame. They bring enough back that they've proven they're pretty dang elite, pretty much everywhere. And you could say, well, the one question is the quarterback. I mean, that is a big question in the game of football. But that's how I'm feeling. So I'm still a little optimistic, but it'll be a challenge. I think Miami's very improved defensively this year, but they have to be because they were no good on that side last year.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I was kind of shocked. The Carr got the start as well. I mean, I was hearing everything out of camp as well. I forgot the other kid's name, but I heard he was balling. So to see him be named the starter was interesting. I'll say that. But we'll go to Sosa. How you feeling about this outlook on this game going to Miami tomorrow night?
Low scoring. I mean, that's all I can think. Just going to run the ball 50 times and try to get out of there with a win. I mean, I think Miami right now is in a if not now then when kind of situation, right? Like Cristobal's there, 4th year. You spend a bunch of money on the transfer portal. You went and got a quarterback last year. You went and got a quarterback again. From what you hear, you know, they're good trench-wise. Their receiving core is good. They're, you know, offensively, they have the weapons. Their defense was atrocious last year. You'd like to believe that they shored up some things defensively, but I think I like Notre Dame in a close one, an ugly, close football game. Just because I don't see Freeman trusting Carr to like go out there and try to throw the ball around. He's going to lean on his strengths, and that's in the trenches in the run game, and I think that's what you're going to get. So,
okay, all right,
that's my expectation. Yeah,
not a fireworks type of game, to be honest with you. I definitely agree with that, especially with the rain. Jake, we'll go to you. Miami, Notre Dame. How you feeling?
I've been going back and forth on this one, but it comes down to I don't think Notre Dame goes undefeated, and I think this is where they slip up. I think they lose to Miami tomorrow night, and I think the Canes start their journey to the college football playoff. I think after last year, I think they're a better team this year, and I think they get the best of Miami. I am worried about Jeremiah Love, but CJ Carr, man, I've watched this kid because Michigan went after him. I was praying they didn't get him for a reason. I don't think he's that good. And I think Miami pulls this one out. I'm going with the Canes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Sam, we'll round it out with you. How you feeling about this one?
Not much on this one. I guess it's going to be an ugly game with the weather and everything. Probably lean under. Don't see a lot of points being scored. Don't really feel like putting my money on Carson Beck either. So it's not a game that I really want to play personally, but it's going to be fun to watch. I'm glad that we have one tomorrow night with the caliber of this. So just hope for a good game, close back and forth, and really don't want either team to win. So I guess it'll be fun to see one of them lose. So
fair enough. All right, man. All right. We got to get the energy up in here. All right. We've been talking about a game with 4 bad quarterbacks. Like let's get to the fireworks. All right. If you want to bet on those 2 games, the first 2 games we talked about, have fun, have at it. Cool. Let's get to the big one. All right. Starting here in 2 hours, under 2 hours, we got Texas going into Ohio State. Now, obviously, the talk is about Arch. We all know he's God's gift to quarterbacking, to the University of Texas, to the state of Texas, to Louisiana, to New Orleans. He's just the greatest ever. You know what I mean? I mean, that game against Mississippi State, he just really he took over the game, put the team on his back. What more can you say about Arch Manning? I mean, he's so proven. He's done a lot in this game. You know, his dad is the best Manning. You know, his uncles, 2 NFL Hall of Famers, his grandfather, everything about the Mannings is great. That's all I've heard the entire last 6 months. Okay. So I better see it today. And I will play the excerpt of what my boy Arch had to say, but I'll start with Sam first. Obviously, this is a big moment for him, for Ohio State, for everything that they got going on. So, how are you feeling about this matchup? And, do you think the Arch praise is deserved? Let me ask that.
Hell no. If you watched last week, no. I mean, why are we crowning him so early? Like, I believe he'll be good, but why are we calling him the best quarterback or QB1 in the draft already? Like, the dude's played against Louisiana Monroe and Mississippi State and then come in for a few plays here and there. Like, I'm on Texas today. It's not because I think Arch is God's gift to earth or anything, or football, but I think when I look at the matchup, I see a team in Ohio State that lost a lot of production. Yeah, they're loaded at receiver. I think they can actually take a step up at quarterback this year and have better production there. I think Julian Sain can be more talented than Will Howard was last year, but I don't know if we see it this game. They lost both coordinators. Isn't Hartline the new OC?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't called plays before, so it's unproven commodities. I know they have a ton of weapons and everything, but I just don't see a team. I see Texas as the team that is more prepared for this game and has a little bit more experience in moments like this. So yeah, I'm on Texas. I think. What do you got, Jake?
No, I was just gonna say, like, do you guys think Hartline's get like? Do you think Day's given him full control of the offense? Because like I don't know. I find that like I feel like Day's gonna run through Day. Like last year it was all Chip. I feel like it's still gonna run through Day.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he passed him up a few times. Like for OC, there were a few times like, oh, it's Hartline's job now, and he kept passing him up. And the word they keep saying, yeah, it's Hartline's, but like, yeah, I'm on the doubting train for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, in that situation, like that's one of the things that like it's hard to with the continuity not there. It's hard for me to believe that this Ohio State team is just as good as they were last year. I know Texas lost a lot as well, but they also have a lot of talent on defense. We were talking about Ryan Wingo last week as a guy that could potentially break out and have a good season. I think their running backs are healthy. I think they have good weapons around Arch. But it's a lot of turnover on both of these teams. But I think even though Arch doesn't have a ton of experience, I think he is the more experienced quarterback in this game and has played in big moments. And even though it hasn't been an entire game, he's come in at big times in some of the big games that they've played. And I'm going to go with that. And I think that they've shown up on some of these early road tests and like looked really good. And I'm going to ride that and bet on that. So yeah, Texas money line. I got a plus 102 earlier this week.
All right, gotcha. JD, how you feeling about this one, man?
I'm with Texas in the under. I think the under's taking a bit of money. So I just like that. I think their D, the way they're talking about the D and what I've seen on the D, I just think, it's just, you get that. What do you know about this game? I know that Texas's defense is elite. And then on the other side, I know that Ohio State's breaking in a new quarterback. And I also know they have a pretty good defensive player on that side of the ball as well. And I trust Patricia in his first game a lot more than I trust Brian Hartline. The first time play caller, I am actually a little bit worried about that. So yeah, that's what I like. And then Wingo, glad you brought him up. I did take him over. He's at 53.5 receiving yards. And this is a guy in recruiting who was there with, Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, and Ryan Williams. And then Wingo was there. And, they had a really good football team, and he was a part of it last year, but he is the guy. It was 7 of their top 9. And then Emmett Mosley, the Stanford transfer who was supposed to start, is dinged up, may play, but not a whole lot. So yeah, that's where I'm looking.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Now, before we get to you, Sosa and Jake, I'll just play this for the people. This is what young Arch Manning had to say when he was asked about this upcoming season. Let's see.
Are you mentally prepared to have that huge X on your back all season long where everybody is going to be coming for you?
I mean, I think that's all of us at Texas, and I think we kind of try to shift the narrative. We're going for everyone else. Target's not on our back. We got a red dot on everyone else.
Red dot on everyone else. Okay. Just Sosa go. Just go. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen, y'all said everything that needs to be said. Both teams had massive turnover on both sides of the ball. We trust the quarterback that we've seen play. I think it's pretty simple. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a situation where you overthink it. Like, I like saying, I think saying's going to be good. Accurate thrower of the football. I don't know how much of a competition he was actually in at Ohio State for the job, but, everyone can say it. The biggest shifting force in college football is going to be Jeremiah Smith. And I think that will be something all year is that he opens up a lot for other people, and you have to game plan for him first. They upgraded at tight end. They brought in the transfer from West Virginia in Donaldson. It's just, you just don't know how fast a team is going to mesh when they replace both the coordinators as well. So it's not necessarily that you're trying to, I'm down on Ohio State. We know the talent pool at Ohio State is always going to be elite. That's not even a question. It's just, they lost a bunch of players and the two coordinators. So you're going to lean on stability or consistency or just what you know to exist. And I think that's what you're going with when you lean on Texas. I think you trust their quarterback a little bit more. You trust the infrastructure that they have, especially after Ohio State loses so much and are coming off such a huge mark in the program. So I like Texas in a close one, a close like 21-16 type game. I think both defenses will play well. I think both quarterbacks will come out and have some level of jitters, whatever you want to call it. And I think we'll get a relatively ugly football game. So that's what I anticipate in this one.
All right. Now, Jake, are you going to be hate watching? I mean, you're not a Texas fan. I don't even know if you've been to Texas, but I know this is your top op. So how you feeling?
Yeah, ready to watch this game. I'm not picking a side. The line just flipped back to Ohio State. It's like a pros versus Joes, basically. Like, all the sharp money's on Ohio State. Mm-hmm. So, no side for me. I took under 47.5. I think it's an ugly game, like all of you have alluded to. I think it's slow first half, and then it might pick up a little bit in the third quarter. They'll settle in there. I expect a lot of mistakes out of both QBs. I think you could see both QBs throwing a pick today. And it'll be a tight game down to the wire. I think one of these teams wins by a field goal, but it's just too close for me to pick a side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. All right, did I get to everybody? Sam, you went. Sosa, JD? Okay. I'll just give my 2 cents out here. Look, man, I like Texas. I think they're a very talented football program, but I have been hearing about this talent pool for the last 3 years, literally. And I think Sark is a good coach, but Jake made a comment on this show that I will not repeat, but I kind of agree with him. When is he going to get some flack for not being able to win the big game? I think he's just lauded for what he did at Alabama. Obviously, he got, back in his bag, last year. I think they did have a good season last year. I don't want to underlook or overlook that, especially with what we see Quinn Ewers doing now and especially what he's doing last year. So I just don't think that Anthony Hill is a dog. Colin Simmons is a dog. Like, they have a good defense over there. I fully agree with that. But I think the plan for this game is going to be Julian saying we're going to spread out all of these NFL receivers. We're going to get you to get the ball out quick, and we're going to make these corners work because their secondary wasn't the best last year either, and they had some players lost to the NFL. So, in my opinion, I just there's too much on Ohio State's side where I'm a little bit more comfortable with taking them. And like Jake was saying, the money line, I mean, it's been shifting for the last 24 hours like crazy. It's back to 1.5 for Ohio State. So I got Ohio State. I picked them at 2.5. I got the money line at -105 yesterday. that's where I'm going. I think there's a lot to overcome on the Texas side, even though they have the talent. So we'll see. This probably will be the second best game of the day. Is anybody else got anything on this before we go to the big one? Nope. All right. The big one. And we'll start, of course, with Sam. LSU. Sam looks pissed off already, and he knows what I'm going to mention. Tattletale Dabo.
Rat fucks.
First of all, reviewing the game tape of a kid who wasn't even at LSU last year, he got kicked out in the bowl game, if I'm correct, right, Sam? Okay.
No, I think it was. I don't even think Houston was in a bowl game. I think it was just their last game of the regular season.
Okay, gotcha. And it was probably on FS15. Like, it wasn't even an FS1 game. It wasn't on Fox. It wasn't on. You had to get cable to get that game at your house. But somebody must have texted Dabo, hey, you know that kid got kicked out at the end of the season last year. So there's a lot going on. There's obviously the battle for the real Death Valley, some think. We have two probably of the best quarterbacks in college right now in terms of what we've already seen from them. So, Sam, what's happening tonight? How are you feeling?
I'll acknowledge that Clemson does have a lot of talent. They have probably 2 top 10 picks, TJ Parker, Peter Woods. They have a lot of talent on defense. They have a lot of talent on offense. Like their top 3 pass catchers are back. Cade Klubnik's back. They return a lot on the offensive line. They're a really good football team. But this is also a football team that really wasn't, like, even with all the talent last year on defense, they weren't consistent. They gave up 30 plus to Virginia. They gave up 30 plus to SMU. They gave up 38 in the playoff and got run all over by a Texas team that really wasn't that great offensively last year. And I'm really not like scared, I guess, that they replaced their DC with Tom Allen, who was at Indiana a couple years ago, just a couple years ago, who got replaced at Penn State. Granted, I know it was for Jim Knowles, but still got replaced at Penn State with the defense they had. So LSU has a lot of turnover on the offensive line. That's the thing that is the biggest question mark going into the game. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to line them up. It's been more tame this offseason, but the Halsey suspension for the first half stuff has just kind of like lit a fire under everyone's ass over the last couple of days. Like, there's real hate now. These corny fucks over in Clemson, like, following the cult of Dabo, like, they storm the field after every game, dude. Storm the field after every game, and they want to try to claim that they're the real Death Valley. I mean, 80,000 people. What are we talking about? The real Death Valley is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's the cathedral of college football. I mean, it's unparalleled. There's nothing like it. For the actual game, no play either way. I'm gonna believe in Nuss. I think we've seen over the last few years the quarterbacks at LSU take another step into that year 2, and I think Nuss is right in line to do the same thing. We're absolutely loaded at receiver. There's Ferraris everywhere. You got Aaron Anderson, you got Nick Anderson, Barian Brown, Chris Hilton Jr. Absolute studs who can take the top off the defense. I think the running game improves a lot this year with Alex Atkins coming over from Florida State, who was their OC last year. They didn't do a lot great offensively, but I blame quarterback. They did run the ball really well, though, and I think he's going to scheme up some ways to get Caden Durham and Harlan Berry break some loose. Those guys are speedsters. They're great running backs. I think Caden Durham can be one of the best running backs in the SEC this year. But as far as what takes us to a national championship contender this year, I think the defense is much improved. Like we said on the pre-show last week, they went from like historically bad 2 years ago to middle of the pack last year. And I think we see another jump to where they're not a top 10 defense. I don't believe, or I got to see that to believe it. But I think they take another jump up with all the talent that they brought in from the transfer portal and all the talent coming back, where you have a healthy Whit Weeks, you have a healthy Harold Perkins. The defensive line room is absolutely loaded. Safety play will be improved. It's not, thank God, I don't have to watch Major Burns and Sage Ryan ever again in the secondary. That was terrible to watch. But yeah, I think they take a step forward. I think it's a top 30, top 20 defense, and the offense will be right there and still score a lot of points. Got to keep us clean. Just let them throw the ball to these receivers. I do have 2 props I'm going to take in the game. I'm not picking a side because it's biased, and I'm just betting with my heart. So I will take Trey'Dez Green, anytime touchdown scorer. The guy's a 6'7", 245 tight end. He's an absolute freak of an athlete. I mean, he was throwing down dunks in the Alabama basketball game. Like, he was playing SEC minutes for the basketball team this year. He's a freak athlete, plus 295. Nuss loved him in the bowl game last year. He's a red zone nightmare. And then Chris Hilton, healthy again. Him and Nuss have a great chemistry. 40.5 receiving yards on FanDuel was his line, and I'm going to take that over. He's going to go, I'd say 100 yards and a touchdown, like if we had to put a number on it. So he makes this offense better, and him and Barry and Brown out there, they're speedsters. They take the top off the defense. So yeah, I'm going to believe LSU wins. It's going to be a close one, back and forth. Just give me a good game. But if we lose, I mean, the season, everything's still in front of us, like if it's competitive. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do lose.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair. You know, you seem calm, brother. I can't lie. So you're in a good headspace today. And
it's not like it doesn't elicit the emotion that like an Alabama game does, but it feels like that right. Level of game where it's just heightened nerves. I mean, everyone here knows like the big game jitters that you get, and I fucking hate that we have to start every year like this. It just pisses me off. Just give me a cupcake, but this game does kind of feel it. I have the same feeling of the Texas game in 2019, where you feel slightly confident, but you got to see it before you believe it.
Right. All right. Okay. All right. Well, we got the expert analysis. Sosa, how you feeling about this game tonight?
Give me Clemson by 2 touchdowns. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to see Sam's reaction. That's the only reason I said that. Listen, man. My thoughts on this. Brian Kelly needs this one. I think 3 coaches needed wins this week more than ever. One already got one last night in Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze couldn't afford to lose last night. They could probably lose the next 5 games, but he couldn't lose last night. Sarkisian needs a win today. He has no quality wins. You can't outside of going to Alabama and beating Alabama, who has Sarkisian beat that you would be like, oh, this is a premier win? Arizona State? It's Cam Scatterbo?
Some would argue this team. Let's
be fucking for real. And so again, I think BK just needs it, bro. I don't want to say it's a desperate situation, but I think he just really, really, really needs a win. Like you can't start the season off 5 straight years losing the first. Like, that's insane. Mm-hmm. And also last year, you kind of knew. Last year set the tone. When USC was able to move the ball at will in game 1, you knew LSU's defense had a problem. After one game, you knew what it was. It wasn't we'll figure it out. No, they just were ass from the jump. Spend your money, get your kids in the transfer portal. The defense, the secondary is supposed to be better. Obviously, Sam said something that's ultimately true with these games. You don't believe anything until you see it. You can show me Julian Sains high school tapes all you want. I don't give a fuck. That has no bearing on today. You know what I'm saying? Like all that other shit is out the window. I think I'm picking LSU simply because I just think BK has to win it. He has to win this game, bro. Also, Clemson can afford to lose. The rest of their schedule, have you seen their schedule? It's a fucking joke. There's the only team in the ACC that could give them any sort of problems in the trenches is Georgia Tech. That's it. Like Georgia Tech's offensive line is probably the only unit in the entire ACC, in my opinion. And I think people kind of like Duke. I think, when you spend a bunch of money on a quarterback, people are going to interject it. But I think that's what it is. I think LSU needs it, and I think LSU can't afford to lose tonight. I think Clemson can, and everything be in front of them. I think LSU, when you have to go up against an SEC schedule, you don't want to lose an out-of-conference game to start the season. So those are just my thoughts on it. I think LSU wins the game. I think it's a close one. I think Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik. We're supposed to get these are probably the two top-rated quarterbacks entering the draft next year. So, it's going to be interesting to see what we get, whether it's some level of like fireworks offensively, or we might just get an ugly-ass football game where Clemson dominates the trenches and beats the brakes off of them. I'm hoping otherwise.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I will just say the narrative of the openers, like, this is completely different than the other ones, and everyone can acknowledge that. It's like if they lose in a like embarrassing fashion, then it's an actual problem.
How is
but
it
if they
different?
go out and they compete and they lose, I won't say it's like it's an issue.
How's it
How is
different?
it different? Just because you're playing a better team on the road?
Well, it's the
Or
way
like-
like they lost those openers. Like against Florida State the first year, they couldn't like complete an extra point.
I
That
think
was
the worst
fundamental.
one was last year. Like
Yeah, you
losing-
went for it. Didn't you
No,
go for it on
no,
fourth
last
down in
year-
the first quarter 3 times and didn't get one of them? Wasn't one of those
that
games where you went
that
for it on
was
fourth
the-
down like 3 times in the first quarter and didn't convert any of them?
That was the one in Orlando. I'm not saying I'm saying it can be different. Like if they go
For
out
sure.
and they compete and they lose
Oh,
and it's a close back and forth game, that's a different feeling than going out and not having the talent, like seeing that you don't have the talent defensively like you did last year against USC. Like there's no way they should have been moving LSU's defense last year, but they just didn't have the talent. But if they go out and they compete with Clemson, you have a better feeling going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I would also say the other 2 games being neutral site games, I think that kind of plays into it as well, because this is, I mean, I know it's the ACC. I know we don't give Clemson the kudos that they might deserve for their home environment, but I said this
They're
on a
fucking
pre-show.
clowns, dude.
They love their football team. However you feel about them, they love their football team, bro. I'm telling you. And yes, it is a 60 or 80,000 seat or whatever you said. But it's gonna be loud, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Lock the fucking gates and let's go get a fucking win.
And yes, they do ride a bus to come to the stadium. The locker room is not in the
A
stadium.
joke.
For everyone who doesn't know that. All right, JD, we'll go to you before we ended with Jake. How are you feeling about this one tonight?
Well, so yeah, when you look at Clemson, I mean, what's not to love? You have the quarterback, everyone's back on the O-line, everyone's back everywhere. Wide receiving room, you can't get much better than that. Wow, they got 5 starters over there. That's pretty impressive. A lot of NFL dudes. And then defensively you get Tom Allen, right? But and then of course, you guys mentioned the opener thing. I mean, tell it to a Brian Kelly, Notre Dame fan, that Brian Kelly, can't win an opener, can't win a big game. I mean, good Lord, I guess it's been a thing for a while now. That being said, all this stuff, the deeper you look into it, it's just kind of glitter for Clemson. It's glitter. It's off-season chatter. I mean, I agree it's a reason to like Clemson, but not necessarily in this game. I think in the ACC where, they're going to run over some teams. Absolutely. I think they could get to the college football playoff, but I don't know, expecting them to run over an LSU team that, I mean, they should be better. They should be much better. And then Clemson, I mean, you just haven't really proven that your talent is going to play like it should. Like all of a sudden everyone's backing on Dabo. I know he's done it before, but like they were 85th in EPA per rush last season, 118th in rushing explosiveness. There's no reason that should happen. And I know the glitter, they have Woods and Parker on the D-line and everyone knows their name because, those are the 2 best D-linemen in college football on the same team. But where is it? I don't know. I think they still got more to prove than some people are talking about. They didn't look good against great teams. I know they made it closer against Texas at the end, but I just don't really think that was ever in doubt. Looked much. I mean, Arizona State sure looked a lot better against Texas. I'll say that much. So yeah, What could go wrong? Brian Kelly. Now it's up to 4. It's at 4.5 over here on some books. I'm on it. I'm also on Chris Hilton. I'm glad Sam mentioned that. 40.5. What are we doing here? Only thing with him has been health, and he's healthy. So yeah, give me that. Give me LSU.
All right. Jake, we'll go to you. How you feeling?
I'm not gonna lie, I was on the same side before all of you said LSU, and now it kind of scares me a little bit. I mean, if you watch the preview
we know what we're talking about. So
if you watch the
It's a ball
preview
knower show.
I was really high on LSU for the season and for everything. I'm gonna stick with them. I think they win this game. I'm high on Nuss. I'm high on the receivers. I'm gonna believe in the defense. I mean, and if the defense isn't improved, we're all gonna be looking dumb about this pick. I mean, the defense has to be better than last year, or they won't win tonight. So I think they go into the fake Death Valley, and I think they win tonight. I think Brian Kelly gets that victory, and I think we're talking about LSU as a title contender. And I am on first half under 29.5 in this game.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll round it up. Look, man, oh, go ahead, Sam.
I was just gonna add, like what JD said about the running game for Clemson last year. I think they're projected to start a converted wide receiver. Like they lost their top runner on a team that couldn't run the ball, and like, are they gonna like? I think they're gonna be very, very skewed to the passing game tonight. Like I don't know that they can run the ball. Just they were bad running the ball last year, and I'm glad JD hit on it because that was one thing. Like a very one-dimensional team. I think that allows the LSU play a little bit better.
And also, before you go, Roddy, listen.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen this much dick riding for a defense that gave up like 30 plus points to SMU in the second fucking half of a ball game, like by themselves. But like just like JD said, we're talking about all these pro guys that Clemson got, right? On the defense, that defense, especially in college football, like any given week, like you can give up 30, 35 points. It's just how this shit goes, especially if we got pro players on the other side. So I think,
and an offense that scored 14 points against South Carolina.
So I think that there's a legit possibility that this game in the second half, I think in the second half, it could end up being a situation where last team that has the ball wins the game. Like I think it could get that out of hand on the off, like, and we're everybody's talking about defense. I think that might be end up being the situation in the second half where it's just a track meet. I think that could very well be the case in the second half between these two teams. I think the first half a little bit slower, but in the second half, I expect tempo and a lot of offense in the second half.
Yeah, and I think that's been consistent throughout like a majority of the bigger games for the last, I guess, week. First halves are a little slow. Obviously, these guys don't have preseason, so it's gonna be a little bit uglier than you're gonna see in the NFL probably in week one. So I fully understand that. Now, where I come from on this is, yes, I do have some concerns with Clemson running the ball. However, I think that the offense that they run, Garrett Riley, it kind of works in their favor for that. I think they're going to spread them out. Similar to Ohio State, they're going to spread them out. They're going to make sure that these DBs are, improved from what they were last year. So I might be the only one on Clemson, but I got them with the 4. I also have a Cade Klubnik Heisman ticket, so that might be skewing my views a little bit because I think he needs this game in order to win it. I think he needs to play well. But team speed does concern me because I don't think that's even a question offensively for LSU. I think they probably have one of the fastest teams in the country. But team speed, to JD's points about their explosive last year, I just don't think they have a lot of fast players. Like, I don't think they have a lot of dynamic super athletes, even though they got 2 guys that we think are going to play on Sundays on the offense in Wesco and Antonio Williams as well. So I still got Clemson. This is a feeling I have. You can take it or leave it for me, but I don't think it's going to be a total blowout. I think this game is going to be good and competitive. But I got Clemson edging it out at the end of the game. So Anything else we got on this one, or can we go to our best bets for the day? All right, let's do it. We'll start with Sam. CVS receipt. Not really. You sent them to me, so not really today.
Not terrible.
How are you feeling? Yeah.
I already gave out a few. Texas money line plus 102. Bama first half minus 7.5. Got that plus 105. Did take a couple props in the LSU game. Trades Green anytime touchdown plus 295, and then Chris Hilton Jr. over 40.5 receiving yards. Did want to take Ole Miss Georgia State over 59.5 as well. I think Georgia State bad defense. I think Lane's gonna do what he does against bad teams, and he's gonna run up the score, try to get this offense kind of clicking a little bit with some new pieces and everything. Give me the over in that one. I think they lost a lot on Ole Miss lost a lot on defense as well. I think they give up some points, and this game goes over 60. Syracuse plus 14. This isn't more of like a belief in Syracuse. It's more fading Tennessee because they lost a ton. I don't believe in Aguilar as a quarterback. And I just don't see how this team is a top 25 team right now. And then also go Indiana fighting Cignetti's minus 23.5. I think they show up and they try to get that offense clicking. They probably have improved quarterback play. I think the defense is still very good. And they beat bad teams at home by a lot. So we'll go with that, and they'll round it out.
To add on to that, Tennessee starting left tackle David Sanders just ruled out for that game today. So he's out. So he already had a true freshman starting at left tackle. How good is the dude behind him?
Oof. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Good information. Thank you, Jake. Sosa, we'll go with you next. How you feeling? What's your card for the day?
I'm light. I like Alabama first half full game to cover. I also like their first half team total over 16.5. Like Texas on the money line. And yeah, I'm not really going crazy this week. Next week I got some better looks. I think it'll be a little bit easier, but like it's first week for me is just wait and see. I'm gonna just tail whatever JD puts out for DFS, and yeah, it's like I'm good on that. I'm gonna keep it light with the sides and totals, and just kind of spectate and just get a feel for what happens. I also made a lot of money off of Auburn last night, so I really don't have any reason to go crazy now. I hit every bet in the Auburn game, so I'm chilling. Kind of, they shout out to Hugh Freeze. I'll never say that again on this show after today, but shout out to Hugh Freeze for getting me right last night for sure.
Hey, Jackson Arnold, man, you might have to look at them rushing yards. That boy was going crazy last night. All right, JD, speaking of you, how are you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling all right. I am actually taking it way easier this week than most weeks, so.
Okay.
Wasn't necessarily that I went into it saying I'm going to take a wait and see approach, but it looks like that's kind of where I ended up. But yeah, I'm with Sam on Chris Hilton. By the way, yeah, DFS. They messed up on their pricing. He's $3,000. He's the stone cold minimum in the night slate. Like I don't know what they're doing there, but anyway. So Chris Hilton, and then I already talked about LSU. Speaking of the big hitters, Temple football. Come on down, Temple. They're playing UMass. Both teams stink. One brings back more players. One has a better coach. One's probably going to have a better offense and probably a better defense. That's Temple. So Temple, they're going to win by at least a field goal against mighty UMass. Tune into that one. Yeah, you better. Utah minus 5.5 against UCLA. You get an old Pac-12 game, baby. Pac-12 after dark. Utah is way better this year. And Dan Pierre, this kid's like my favorite player in college football. Can he stay healthy, taking all those hits? I don't know. He's going to need to, but it's week 1. He's healthy now. They're way better on both sides of the ball, way better on the trenches. They're going to win that one. Nico, good Lord. We still got to watch this kid. Last but not least, we got one more player prop. Fluff Bothwell, beautiful name, plays for Mississippi State, running back. Him and Devon Booth are gonna go wild against Southern Miss. That's the all transfer portal game. There's like 70 new players on both teams, but Levy needs to win ball games, and this is a winnable one. So I think he's gonna it's going to run it up a little bit. It was looking like rain when I played this, but now the rain is out of the forecast. But I don't care. Fluff's going to run for over 50.
Okay. All right. There we go. Look, I'm looking them up right now. I'm tailing.
South Alabama legend.
All right, Jake. How you feeling today, brother?
Good. I was actually looking for a reason to bet that Temple game, and you just gave it to me. I wanted to take Temple. I just needed that push.
I'm so sorry.
No, I got Indiana, like Sam, 22.5. Cignetti is a scumbag. He'll run up the score on anybody, and he doesn't care at all. Kind of like it about him. He just, like, stop us. I like when coaches, like, stop us. We're not here to just run the ball up the middle and go out. Like, stop us. It's football. Like, get better. I don't know. But I got them. I got the first half under in LSU. I think it's sloppy at the beginning. I think they get rolling in the second half. And Michigan, minus 34.5. I'd be shocked if New Mexico scored on us. So I'm going with that. I think it's a blowout. And, we'll roll into next week, keeping it light.
That would mean your team has to score 30 plus.
They might have that at half. Run. Bryce doesn't even have to do anything. We could run, and they're not going to stop it. So,
okay. All right. Well,
and look out. I'm not going to bet it, but Georgia might win by 60 points today. They might do it.
Well, Jake, I'm glad you said that. I have a stat for you all. Do you know what Kirby Smart's record is when he's favored by 38 points or more? Against the spread, of course. Against the spread.
What is he, undefeated?
0-12.
0-12.
0-12.
Yes. Now, one of those games was against his mentor. I forgot what team they played, and he was like, all right, guys, we don't need to beat their ass like that. This is my guy. So he held up a little bit there. But the Marshall kids have been talking a little shit. They said they're going into Sanford Stadium. Now is the time. This is the best time to play Georgia. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. I saw a graphic on College Game Day today. We're going for the 32nd win in a row against Marshall. So good luck with that, guys. But we'll start there, in Athens. Great to be back. I think the under 53.5 is appropriate there. I think they're going to try to get Gunner in, see what the weapons look like. Hopefully the wide receivers don't drop every single pass and lead the FBS in drops again. Please, God, my mental can't take that. But I like the under in that game. I think it's like a 48-0 spot. Like, I don't think it's going to be too crazy. So I like the under in the Georgia game. I already said Clemson -4. I already said the under in the Alabama-Florida State game. If you can get it at 50, that would be perfect. I like the under 24. It's a little juiced at -120 for the Notre Dame and Miami game. That's tomorrow for the first half. And then I got Ohio State money line. I just think that's what's going to happen. So that's really it for me. For everybody else, anybody got anything else before we get out of here?
That Alabama line just fell to 13.5. That number always scares me in games, man. That I don't know. -7.5 first half plus money now. Oof.
That's what I told y'all. I said, we sure they're gonna beat them by 2 touchdowns? Just saying. Just asking.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'll close it out with fuck that, bro.
Thank you, Sam. All right, man. Well, JD, we appreciate you, brother. You are always welcome here. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your expertise as always. Jake, we'll see if you're on next week. You know what I'm saying? I know, you may have some obligations, but as always, brother, you're welcome here at any time. Sam's going to be here, so y'all see him next week. And you're going to see me.
Hey.
Oh, my God. Where did you get that, Temu?
No, Michigan store. Michigan store.
That shit is an iron-on, man. Anyway, for Sam, for JD, for Jake, it's your boy Roddy. Sosa says bye too. His stomach hurt. We'll see y'all next week, man. Peace.